As a child of God, dating is very essential, especially when it has to do with whom we want to make our spouse. Godly dating entails getting to know your spouse very well. Godly dating gives you the essential time needed to bond with that spouse or partner. You get to know his or her do's and don'ts of the relationship. Before giving yourself to a relationship or marriage, dating allows you to know that love interest personally. You get to bond deeper when you know one or two things about the person. Godly dating is not like the dating of the world, where you share a first kiss or a one-night stand thing. Godly dating requires asking the right type of questions to know that person deeper and intimately. It involves sharing your ideas and values and getting to know more about each other to bond in a godly way. There are many important questions you get to ask on a first date, and 5 of them are: Number 1. The person's relationship with God. This is a very important question to ask of that person you are on a date with. It is the most important of all. The Bible tells us not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14. The warning is clear enough. No matter how charming, gentle, financially buoyant, cultured, and morally upright that person you are dating seems to be, he or she must have a personal relationship with Christ. The first thing that should draw you together in the first place is about God. To be doubly sure that the person is not just playing church, since even the devil has appeared as an angel of light to deceive the very elect of God. You as a believer must be careful with whom you choose to date. Asking the right questions and listening when the person is telling you about himself or herself and how he or she is relevant to the service of God is very key. You should know you don't have the power to know the intent of one's mind, however you have the Spirit of God, which is the Holy Spirit who is ready to guide and lead you aright when trying to discern if the person you are dating is truly a child of God. Questions such as when the person met Christ, his or her salvation experience, and what capacity the person serves in the service of God are important questions that should not be neglected. When you both share your experiences and challenges on the first date, you get to know so many key things about his or her spiritual life and how the person works to serve God. The person you are on a date with is not just to confess he is a Christian, but must have a genuine love of God in his or her heart. The Bible tells us that not all that calls the name of the Lord are of him. Matthew chapter 7 verse 21. The person must have the fruit of the Spirit, namely love, joy, patience, faith, etc. He must have been baptized of water and the Spirit. Number 2. The person's background and past. One area of life young people in the world mistake when accommodating is not asking the right questions. They're mostly blinded by the infatuation and euphoria of the love they had for each other at first. The moment they get into a serious relationship or marriage, they begin to see different red flags and flaws that were not tackled during the dating period. One of these questions is about their love interest background, history, or past. This is one of the most important questions to ask when on a date for the first time with someone. We know it is not possible to know all about a person's background and history in just a day of knowing one another. But as long as you continue getting to know one another deeply, you are bound to know something about the person's family background, past, and history. Salient questions should be asked concerning the family history of your spouse. Do they believe in God, or are they idol worshippers? Do they have a certain family taboo, curse, or ritual? And so many other questions that should be asked when on a first date. It is important to know if they have a certain family genetic disease that carries from generation to generation. Their medical history, which includes blood type, blood group, and the likes, are salient questions that should be asked. You should be sure if that person you are dating has a secret past that you should be aware of. Questions about their past relationship, where they work, the kind of work they do, the type of friends they keep are also questions that should not be left out when on a date for the first time with someone. Number 3. Their mindset on marriage and commitment. This is another salient question you must be ready to ask your partner when on a godly date with them. You need to find out if they're just dating for fun and their intentions on being on a date with you. Not everyone that is out there on a date has the best intentions for you. So many of them have so many evil intentions towards whom they are dating. Some date because they see it as fun. Others see dating as a means to an end. Some date all because they have evil intentions towards others, such as satisfying their sexual urge and giving themselves to fornication and adultery. It is important as a believer of God to define the boundary of your relationship with a love interest. Most of the time, it is better to start as friends because you get to know yourselves intimately without the constraint of love or passion blinding both of you and then making you to take a decision that comes back to haunt you in the future. When you are on a godly date with someone, asking questions like this will help you both figure out if you are both truly ready to take things to the next level, which is serious courtship and eventually marriage. Knowing about the person's emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial capacity is very important in gauging how serious that person is. Getting to know also how committed the person is towards the idea of a relationship is very important. Number 4. The person's beliefs, values, and goals. Asking these kinds of questions on a first date with someone means you are trying to know their plans and how realistic such person is willing to make them happen. Getting to know what spurs them on their values and what they believed. The answer they give indicates what and how they see themselves in the future. It is important not to be fooled by mere boast and talk from such a person. Rather, you must rely on the power of the Holy Spirit to help discern if they are truly serious with their goals. Asking what they are presently doing with key evidence is a way to know if they are truly on track to achieve their God's given purpose for their lives. If they share the same values with you or not will help you get to know if you can truly continue in the dating process or not. The kind of job they do, personal projects they plan to undertake, what they do in their free time are questions that a glimpse into the life of your love interest. Number 5. Qualities they are looking for in a partner. Asking this type of question gives a true insight into what that partner wants in a relationship for you. This is one of the most important questions that does not only help you evaluate your partner's wants, but let you know if you measure up to what he or she wants. Questions such as how beautiful, intelligent, tall, fat, skinny, dark, light, witty, serious, academically brilliant, socially minded, introverted, extroverted, shy, quiet, gentle, and so on are qualities you should know your partner wants in a spouse. Telling them about yours too will help you know if you both meet up with such requirements or how ready you are to make things work by working on yourselves to meet up with such requirements. If it is the will of God, then you both can make things work out. Since you both know what the other partner wants and vice versa, it will be easy to know each other's likes and hates, which would make the relationship much happier. You also get to know each other's boundaries and will be careful not to hurt or make your partner unhappy. It also helps to tell if you would both complement one another and have a serious vibe with such individuals. Getting to know what qualities they want in a partner not only helps you know what they want, but it shows their characteristics. It is most likely that if they want, for example, a respectful partner, they are themselves are respectful, and hence will be able to give their spouse the respect they deserve. In conclusion, most of the questions asked on the first date are not things you can easily ascertain in one day. It would take spending quality time and making a conscious effort in getting to know that partner. Most especially, it would take the power of the Holy Spirit to help discern who the person truly is and if such person is good enough to be in a serious relationship with you. Asking questions in a genuinely loving way and listening patiently are sure ways of getting to know and catching a glimpse of the life of that partner.